Good evening and welcome to the University of St. Francis for Fighting Saints basketball tonight, taking on the Lewis University Flyers in a crosstown rivalry matchup on Pat Quigley Court here inside the Sullivan Center in Joliet, Illinois. My name is Terry Bonadonna on the play-by-play for today's game. We're just about set to begin, so let's take a quick look at the starting lineups. First for the visiting 5-3 Flyers. The guards are Tierney Lockett, Gabby Green, and Kayla Brewer. Rachel Hinders and Jessica Keller are in the front court. For St. Francis, Ivana Markovic and Kamari Jordan play guard. The forwards are Paige Gieske and Nicole Davidson. Kaylin Aylward in the middle. And the tip is won by Lewis. The Flyers in black and going from left to right here in the first half. They take control first. Here's a drive, and Lockett's layup misses. Offensive rebound. Hinders puts it in, and a foul. Good start for the Flyers as they score the game's first 2 points and a chance to make it the game's first 3 points. Rachel Hinders picks up the offensive rebound. Hinders, the team leader, with 7.3 rebounds per game coming in, but she misses the free throw. Just the third free throw that she's missed in 27 attempts this year. So the Saints catch a break, and now they get possession for the first time. Nicole Davidson. Up top, Caitlin Aylward. She'll try the three. Aylward misses off to the left. And here come the Flyers. Lockett, a cross-court pass. Gabby Green lays it in from the left side. And Lewis leads 4-0. They'll put on a full-court press. Here's Kamari Jordan trying to break it. Off to Nicole Davidson. The Saints do get it across the timeline. Kamari Jordan reclaims control of the basketball on the outside. Looking for the cutting Caitlin Aylward. She pulls up at the free throw line. Now spins into the lane, up off the glass. No. Aylward has missed her first 2 shots, and Aylward, last one to touch the ball. She thought it went off of Kelleher before it went out of bounds. In fact, it did not, according to the official. It's 4-0 Lewis, and they've got possession here. Looking to extend that shutout advantage. Hinder off to Lockett on the left side. Kelleher is yet to touch the ball on the offensive end. Far and away the team's best offensive player, and that's a travel. Traveling called on Tierney Lockett, who took a quick shuffle step before starting her drive. St. Francis still looking for their first points. We're early here, just about a minute and a half into the action. Paige Gieske has the ball stripped by Gabby Green, and here come the Flyers. Green taking it to Gieske down low. Markovic strips it from behind and knocks it out of bounds. It'll stay with the Flyers, but Markovic's strip allows the rest of the defense to get back and forces Lewis to set up the half-court offense when it looked just moments ago like they had a fast-court bucket on its way. Hinders inbounds it. 23 on the shot clock. This is Green, guarded loosely by Markovic. Here's Kelleher getting her first touch. Kelleher jump stop in the paint, strip, gets it back, up with the right hand and in, but it won't count. She took a big hop first. That's a traveling violation. And St. Francis forces the turnover. Quick delays. Nicole Davidson ties her shoe, and now we're ready to go. Gieske inbounds it to Aylward. Back to Paige Gieske, point forward for Fighting Saints. She dribbles off to the right, picks it up, and needs some help. Looking for Kamari Jordan. It's stripped and taken away by Tierney Lockett. Lockett shovels it out to Brewer. Kayla Brewer steps in, tries to bank it home, but in and out. And it's rebounded by St. Francis. Kamari Jordan crosses over to the left, pulls back, passes to the right side. Nicole Davidson to a cutting Aylward. Nice cut. She can't finish, though. Aylward has missed on her first 3 shots. She's the only one to have taken a shot yet for St. Francis. Their other 2 possessions ended in turnover. Saints struggling on offense, but so far Lewis has not been able to take advantage. They lead only 4-0, and it's been nearly 2 minutes since they last scored. This is Hinders outside to Brewer. Brewer drives on Jordan. Back out to Hinders. 5 on the shot clock. Lockett puts it on the ground. Lockett drives, lays it up. No. Missed the rim. It would have been a shot clock violation had Nicole Davidson not come down with the rebound. Great defensive set there for St. Francis. Now we'll see if they can get going on the offensive side as Jordan spins into the paint, dishes it off down low to Caitlin Aylward, and Aylward finishes it off this time 4-2 as the Saints strike the scoreboard for the first time. 6:50 to go in the first quarter. Hinders off to the right side, Lockett. Up top, Kelleher. Down low, Hinders backing down on Davidson. Misses from point blank range. Hinders had great position on Davidson. Really having her way with her down there, but couldn't finish. Now a pass inside to the cutting Gieske, who ties the score at 4. Paige Gieske, a gorgeous cut. A great find by Nicole Davidson, tying it up. Four up. This is Kelleher looking for her first point. She drives and misses on the runner. Rebounded by Kamari Jordan. Kelleher averages 26 points per game. That was her first shot of the evening. Aylward on the right wing. Nicole Davidson to the left wing. This is Paige Gieske. Gieske dribbles to her right, her pass deflected, and tiptoeing inbounds is Brewer. She stays alive, goes in and misses the layup. Rebound tap to Kamari Jordan. Great steal, great job staying in bounds, great everything by Kayla Brewer up until the very end when she missed an easy layup. 4-4, a very slow offensive start to this game. Aylward with her back to the basket, passes it outside to Gieske. Now Gieske backs down on Lockett, big size advantage, rather on Green, but Gieske misses underneath. Now the Flyers want to run. They'll have to slow things down a little bit as the Saints get their defense back. Brewer left all alone, hits the three. St. Francis got their defense back on time, but a breakdown late on that play left a wide open shooter. And Brewer's got her first 3 points. Markovic drives and kicks out to Gieske, and there's a foul called underneath the basket. Gieske was wide open, but a charging foul called on Ivana Markovic. Her first and the team's second. Paige Gieske will take a seat. She's struggled quite a bit in the early going here, so Andriana Acosta will come on. Try to right the ship at that position for the Saints, who trail by 3 halfway through the first period. Gabby Green stripped at the free throw line. The ball is loose and picked up by Maddie Kennedy. Kennedy came in rather than Acosta. Apologies for that mistake, but Maddie Kennedy comes away with a steal on her first possession. This is Caitlin Aylward driving and drawing the foul. Good body control there by Caitlin Aylward. She took it in all on her own and then got hacked by Jessica Kelleher. And we're only 5+ minutes into the game, but credit to the Saints for what they've done with Kelleher so far. She's managed only 1 shot unsuccessfully, and now she picks up the early foul. Caitlin Aylward misses the first free throw short. Aylward on the season, 68% shooter from the line as Kelleher checks out, and making their first substitution of the game. The first player off the bench for Lewis is Morgan Glatchak. Second free throw is good. Saints back within 2, 4:35 on the clock. This is Gabby Green rolling to the right side and passing to Hinders. There's a handoff to Christina Ekomu, the former Fighting Saint, just into the game. Ekomu off into the corner. 7 seconds on the shot clock. It's Lockett back to Ekomu. Down low, Hinders. Triple team. Out to Glatchak. Long 2. No. Long rebound brought in by Green. Saints defended well for 30 seconds. They'll have to do it again, perhaps for another 30 seconds as Lewis resets. Ekomu outside, guarded by her former teammate Maddie Kennedy. Passes to Hinders and back to Ekomu. Under 10 to shoot again. Lockett driving on Jordan. Pull up in the lane. She's well defended. Out to Ekomu. 3-pointer. Yes, and a foul. Christina Ekomu was the starting point guard for St. Francis last year. 9-point per game scoring over her 3-year career with the Fighting Saints. More of a role player with Lewis. Jessica Kelleher doing the majority of the scoring. With a Division II squad, Ekomu coming off the bench here. She hits the free throw for a 4-point play and shushes the crowd. Here at Lewis, her season high in points is 9. She's averaging just 3 per game, but she's got 4 on this one possession, giving Lewis their largest lead of the game at 6. Caitlin Aylward off to Kamari Jordan. Jordan up top to Markovic. Left side Kennedy, 6 to shoot. Maddie Kennedy pull up from the top of the key, blocked by Glachik. And here come the Flyers, looking to extend their lead. It's Gabby Green on the drive, spinning around Kennedy. She throws it up wildly, no good. And on the battle for the rebound, Kamari Jordan is called for a reaching foul. That's Jordan's first foul, but it's the team's fourth, so they've hit their limit for the first quarter. Green looking to get it in, and she does find Tierney Lockett. Lockett steps inside the arc, drives around Aylward, lays it up. Nope. Lewis has struggled from short range in this first quarter tonight, and St. Francis fortunate they have, because the Saints haven't gotten going offensively as Aylward misses another layup, rebounded by Lewis. Green to the right side. Pulls up, 2.5 minutes to play in the quarter. This is Akomu. Off to Lockett, lob down low, hinders, guarded by Acosta. She draws the foul, and we'll get 2 free throws. Acosta picks up her first foul. It's the team's 5th. St. Francis overall doing a pretty good job on defense right now against Lewis, but not so successful on the offensive end. They're just 2 of 8 from the field. Lewis not that much better at 4 for 13, but obviously they've had more opportunities, forcing a few turnovers and getting a few offensive rebounds as well. Lewis now leads 12-5 as Caitlin Aylward gets the rare rest, and Cody Brand comes in. Both free throws good. First 2 points for Glachik, who checks out. Kelleher back in. It's a 9-1 run for Lewis after this game was tied at 4. Ivana Markovic finds Kamari Jordan. Jordan has not yet attempted a field goal tonight. Would like to get her going offensively. Kennedy drives, spins, underneath the basket, can't bank it in. Another missed opportunity for St. Francis. A good look from Kennedy. Here's Chrissy Akomu on the left side. Long 2-point jumper, rims out. Rebounded by Kennedy. Here's Kamari Jordan taking it slowly down the court. Jordan gets into the key and is fouled. Just the second foul of the quarter called against the Lewis University Flyers. First on Tierney Lockett. Kennedy to inbound to Cody Brand. Brand out to Kennedy in the corner. She drives and kicks to Markovic. Markovic step back 3-pointer in the face of Akomu. Ivana Markovic hits the 3. First 3 points for Markovic, and the Saints are within 5. For as poorly as they've played offensively in this first quarter, their defense has kept them in it. Lewis has been unable to pull away. Here's a 3-pointer from the corner. No good from Lockett, and it's rebounded by Acosta. Saints can pull within 1 possession here late in the first period. Acosta on the right wing, looking for help. She dribbles once and passes to Kamari Jordan. Jordan will try a 3. That's too strong. Acosta battling for the rebound. She can't pull it in. Akomu comes out of the fray with it. She'll slow it down. Akomu walks it off to the left, passes to Hinders, and now swung all the way around to the right side, and Gabby Green. Up top, Akomu looking inside Kelleher. Kelleher against Cody Brand. Blocked from behind by Brand. Kelleher gets it back, blocked again, but this time Brand is called for the foul. Nice defense there by Cody Brand, but a little bit too aggressive in the end. And Kelleher will go to the free throw line looking for her first points. Lewis is a team averaging 73 points per game this year, and Kelleher has 26 of those. She gets her first tonight. So it's been surprising to see her held off the board for this long. 26 points, more than a third of her team's points. Comes straight from the center. Here in tonight's game, not only had she not scored prior to that, she really has not been an offensive factor at all. She's only taken 1 shot prior to this possession, and 1 of 2 from the line. She gives Lewis a 6-point lead. 4-second difference between the shot and game clocks here. Markovic dribbles to the right. Markovic's big three a moment ago, the best offensive play of the game for St. Francis. This is Jordan in the corner, guarded by Akomu. Around a screen from Cody Brand. Jordan drives the lane, double team, bounces out to Brand, who nearly lost control. 5 seconds to shoot. Brand fires to Acosta in the corner. Long two, no good. Rebound to Gabby Green, and she's fouled by Kennedy. Not a smart foul right there. Kennedy gave Gabby Green a shove in the back. You know that Kennedy wanted the rebound there for St. Francis, but with 4.4 seconds on the clock, even if Green had brought that ball in cleanly, she would really have had to hurry down the floor to get any kind of clean look off. And instead, she'll get a chance for 2 free ones from the line. But the first free throw rims out. Free throw shooting has been a struggle in the early going for Lewis. They are just 4 of 7 from the line. St. Francis, on the other hand, has only been to the line once. Caitlin Aylward made 1 of 2. Second free throw misses. Smart foul after all for Kennedy. Here's Jordan. She's got to throw it up. She didn't see the clock, and the half comes to a close. Or the quarter, rather, comes to a close. We've played 10 minutes. Got another 10 to go before halftime. Lewis 14, St. Francis 8. I'll step aside for a quick moment. Back with the second quarter very shortly. (14-8) lead for Lewis at the end of one quarter. Could be worse for the Saints. They're shooting just 25% from the field. 3 for 12. But Lewis, 25% as well. 4 for 16. Leading scorers so far for St. Francis, Ivana Markovic and Caitlin Aylward each have 3. For Lewis, Rachel Hinders and Chrissy Akomu each have 4. In Akomu's case, all came on 1 play. Fun game tonight for Samantha Quigley-Smith, the homecoming, the former head coach of St. Francis. She was here for 5 years. Led the team to the #1 ranking in the country and a Final Four appearance a year ago before departing for greener pastures, Division II Lewis. Saints are trying to prove that Joliet a little bit greener than Romeoville, but they trail early on as they take the first possession of the second quarter. Kennedy up top to Aylward. Off to the right side, Adriana Acosta finds Kennedy. 13 seconds to go on the shot clock. Kamari Jordan puts the ball behind her back. Finds Acosta all alone inside, an easy 2. Jordan drew a couple of defenders, and Acosta just snuck in behind everyone. Her first 2 points. 4-point deficit. Lewis basketball. Katie Gardner in the game for Lewis, along with Riley Olmstead. That's Olmstead passing it off to Akomu. 4 subs in the game right now for Sam Quigley's squad. Akomu is one of them. She knocks down the jumper. Christina Akomu's got 6 points. A leading scorer in the game so far, and her return to the school she attended for 3 years. Markovic, right wing. She holds, nearing a 5-second violation. She gets it off to Caitlin Aylward. Aylward drives and kicks it out. Markovic, open look from the corner. Misses this 3-point attempt, and it's rebounded by Glachik. Here's Akomu on the drive. Akomu is bumped on the shot. No, it's on the floor. Foul is before the shot, so no free throws here for Akomu. Second foul on Kennedy as Lewis brings some starters back in. Kelleher, Hinders, and Lockett all reappear on the floor, as does Paige Gieske for St. Francis. They've got 4 of their 5 starting players back in the game. Lockett fires it into the backcourt to Akomu. Akomu dribbles it up the right side, passes up to Hinders. Left side, Lockett finds Kelleher at the top. Into Hinders against a double team. The ball stripped, taken away by Acosta. St. Francis comes away with the steal, down by 6. Here's Adriana Acosta. Up top, Kamari Jordan trying the three-pointer. It rolls through. Kamari Jordan's got her first 3, and the Saints are within 3 points. First time it's been a one-possession game since it was 7-5. Not a lot of scoring in this one. That's allowed St. Francis to keep it close. It's been a defensive slugfest so far. A lot of fouls, a lot of turnovers. Hasn't been the most aesthetically pleasing first half, but a very competitive game so far. Akomu drives to the right around Acosta, and she's fouled by Gieske. Akomu's numbers playing in the Great Lakes Valley Conference, not nearly what they were a season ago in NAIA, CCAC. But she has controlled the pace of this game. She's been the best player on the floor for Lewis. She hits the first free throw, giving her 7 points. Her season high is 9. She's only 2 away, and we're still early in the second quarter. Akomu this year, 2.5 points, 2.5 rebounds, and just over 1 assist per game. She makes both free throws. So she's got 8 points now to lead all scorers. This is Caitlin Aylward. She's had a tough night so far shooting. Reigning CCAC Player of the Week. Adriana Acosta with 12 on the shot clock. Finds Aylward at the top of the key. Aylward dribbles and gives it up to Kamari Jordan. 6 seconds to shoot. Jordan drives, finds Markovic in the corner. Markovic with 3 seconds, steps back for 3, in and out, rebounded by Hinders. Here's Lockett. Inside Kelleher. Kelleher against the double team, scores and draws the foul. First field goal of the game for Jessica Kelleher. Lewis, when you realize how little a factor Kelleher has been in this game so far, it's got to feel very good being up by 7 points, where their superstar player not involved at all. She hits the free throw, a 3-point play for Kelleher, and she's now got 4 for the game. Again, averaging 26 points per contest, a 62% shooter from the field. You don't want to get her going, and that's her first basket of the night. Saints trail by 8. This matches their largest deficit as Gabby Green grabs that ball away, falls to the ground, and calls timeout before it's taken back. So a 30-second timeout called by Lewis. They lead 21-13. St. Francis had gathered a little bit of momentum, but a very quick 5-0 run for Lewis. A lot of that damage coming from the free throw line has them back up and in control of this one. Saints shooting just 31%, Lewis only 33%. So what's the difference so far? It's been free throws. Lewis not shooting them at a high percentage, but a high volume for sure. 7 for 11 from the line. St. Francis has been there still only one time tonight. Caitlin Aylward went 1 of 2 back in the first quarter. But a lot of fouls have been committed by the Saints. 10 in the first 13 minutes, 17 seconds compared to just 2 on Lewis. Already St. Francis has 3 players with 2 fouls. Adriana Acosta, Maddie Kennedy, and Nicole Davidson. And Davidson has been on the bench since pretty early in this one as a result. Cody Brand is in there for her right now as Tierney Lockett is called for a travel. 5th turnover of the game for Lewis. That matches the number committed by St. Francis. And the Flyers put the full court press back on. We saw this early in the game, but they abandoned it. They're now back to it. Saints break it with ease. Markovic to Aylward. Here's Kamari Jordan. Paige Gieske in the corner to Aylward. Back out Markovic, 7 seconds to shoot. Markovic trying to get around the defender Brewer. She does, misses the shot, gets her own rebound, and draws the contact as she goes back up with it. So the Saints now have a chance to level the playing field a little bit. Trying to get to the free throw line. First foul on Kayla Brewer. It's the Flyers' first foul. And Ivana Markovic is a 78% free throw shooter. She hits the first. (21-14). One more shot for Markovic. No good. She hits 1 of 2. She's got 4 points for the game. Gabby Green off to the right side, and Kelleher pitched in to Hinders, and Hinders throws it a little bit too hard off the backboard. This shot, St. Francis ball. Aylward gets down low, fade away, no. Aylward dominated last week in her 2 games, both wins for the Saints, but she has really struggled to shoot tonight as Brewer throws the ball away. It looked like she was trying to find Hinders, and Hinders wasn't prepared for it. She just watched that ball sail out of bounds in front of her. Ekomu is back in for Brewer. Jordan over to Aylward. 5:20 to go in the first half. Saints hanging around, down by 7 points. This is Jordan on the left wing. Jordan backs it up, passes to Aylward. Right side, Markovic, 7 seconds to shoot. Cody Brand to a cutting Paige Gieske, poked away from behind by Gabby Green. It'll stay with the Saints, but only 4 seconds to shoot here. Gieske inbounds it to Aylward. Back out to Gieske for 3. No good. Open look for Paige Gieske, but too strong on the 3-point attempt. There's a Ekomu off to the left side and Gabby Green. Hinders to Lockett. Good ball movement down into the corner. Christina Ekomu once again. Hinders thought about the 3, gave it up instead to Lockett. Here's Kelleher driving on Cody Brand. Keller pulls up, gets around Brand, and scores from in front of the basket. Good move by Jessica Kelleher. And she is back on the board. She's got 6 points. Jordan on the drive and kick. Brand to Markovic. Markovic drives and kicks to Gieske. Saints just not able to penetrate this defense so far as Gieske draws the foul called on Gabby Green. It's the first foul on Green. Flyers have been called for 2 overall in the quarter. Saints facing a game-high 9-point deficit. This is a big possession for them, and they give it away. Kelleher steals ahead to Ekomu. Ekomu lays it up and in. Lewis is starting to pull away a bit, and with 4 minutes remaining in the half, Saints trying to recapture a little bit of momentum. Jordan spins around Lockett, gets to the hoop and hits the layup. And Lockett a little bit shaken up. She may have been hit in the face. I don't know by what. Kamari Jordan spun around her. Maybe the shoulder got her, I'm not sure. I didn't see it, but immediately grabbed her face, and she'll check out from it. She seems to be all right, just needs a minute. So Sam Quigley does go to the bench. She pulls in Riley Olmstead. Here's Olmstead getting the touch, taking the shot over Jordan. No good. Rebound knocked out of bounds by Kelleher. Saints are back within 9. They've got the ball here against a full court Lewis press. Aylward in the corner. Shadowed by Kelleher, but not much of a pressure. Aylward gives it up to Markovic. Caitlin Aylward once again. Dribbles inside, passes outside. Ivana Markovic. Lob down low for Aylward. Aylward got behind Kelleher, and she scores from the backside. Saints trying to get their leading scorer, Caitlin Aylward, going. She's got 5 points in the game. averaging a team-high 16.5 this season. Kelleher stripped by Jordan, but out to Olmstead. Olmstead keeps it alive for Lewis. Good job not giving up on the play. There's Leah Sims guarding Christina Akomu now. Sims getting her first action of the game. Pull-up jumper, Olmstead on the money. Nine-point game once again. Here's Caitlin Aylward. Driving on Kelleher, nowhere to go. She backs it out. This is Markovic dribbling up top and passing to the right side. Leah Sims. Aylward to Cody Brand. Brand puts the ball on the ground, gets inside, hook shot, no. Rebounded by Aylward, but a foul called on Caitlin Aylward. Oh, that move from Cody Brand, she couldn't finish. But she very, very rarely looks for her own shot on offense. And against a stalwart defender like Jessica Kelleher, she pulls a nice move, just couldn't quite finish it off, and a loose ball foul on Caitlin Aylward, her second. Team's fourth. So now 4 St. Francis players have committed 2 fouls. Gabby Green gets a screen. She won't use it. Off to the right side instead to Olmstead. 7 seconds to shoot. It's Akomu driving on Leah Sims. Step back and a push-off called against Akomu. So a foul on Lewis. That's their third of the quarter. It's Akomu's first. Just under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Here's Leah Sims. Off to Cody Brand. Aylward drives and kicks to Sims. Leah Sims with 9 to shoot, hands it off to Jordan. Jordan drives to the left, picks up her dribble, out to Aylward. 3 seconds to shoot. Aylward up over Kelleher, can't get it to go, and Kelleher comes down with the rebound. Another great defensive possession for Lewis, and now out ahead of the pack, Olmstead, an easy layup, but she missed it. Offensive rebound, and a block from Caitlin Aylward. Hinders gets it back, and Hinders' second chance goes through. Third chance of the possession for Lewis. And they end up with 2 points. Here's Leah Sims, 50 seconds to go in the half. To Aylward. Up top, Markovic. Leah Sims holds it on the left wing. Sims crosses over on Akomu, and Akomu called for her second foul. Akomu checks out with those 2 fouls. Saints have 3 players with 2 fouls. I erroneously claimed they had 4. Aylward picked up her first just a few moments ago, so they're not playing anybody with 2 at the moment. Markovic to Aylward. 7-second difference between the shot and game clocks here. Cody Brand fires it up top to Leah Sims. Brand playing big minutes in the first half with Nicole Davidson in foul trouble. Markovic gets down low. Markovic misses the layup. Brand comes in for the rebound and is called for the foul. Loose ball foul on Cody Brand, and that's the team's 5th. So it'll send Rachel Hinders to the free throw line on the other end. And now Brand becomes the 4th Fighting Saint with 2 fouls called on her. .16 seconds to go in the quarter. Lewis has an 11-point lead. They have stifled St. Francis's offense so far. And they've done some good work from the free throw line. That's their 8th free point of the game. Starting to shoot a little bit better overall as well. In the second quarter, Lewis has gone 6 for 10 from the field. Both free throws go down. 13-point lead for Lewis, and again, full court press. And an offensive foul called on Kamari Jordan, pushing off on Green. Just starting to slip away from the Saints a little bit. It's a huge defensive possession. As Kelleher checks back in for Lewis, and Gieske for St. Francis, now that Jordan has become the 5th Fighting Saint with 2 fouls. Here's Lockett on the drive, nearly lost it. Bounce down low to Kelleher, nice feed to Hinders, and Hinders is called for the travel. 8.2 seconds on the clock. Well, the Saints got the stop that they desperately needed. Now a basket right before halftime would be huge. A 10 or 11 point game with 20 minutes to go doesn't seem so crazy. If it had been 15, which just seconds ago it seemed like it could be, that would have been a little bit more debilitating. Here's Aylward, just 4 seconds now. Caitlin Aylward drives, Aylward throws it up, no good, and that's how the first half will end. Saints scored just 18 points in the first half against a dominant Lewis defense. Great defensive start to the game for St. Francis, but the Flyers got going in the second quarter. Pulled away a little bit, ending the half on a 15-5 run. And we'll see what kind of fight St. Francis has in them in the second half. In about 15 minutes right now, I will step aside. Halftime here at the Sullivan Center. 31-18, Lewis has the lead. We're just about ready to start the second half of action at the University of St. Francis. Fighting Saints trailing 31-18 to Lewis at halftime. Saints have a 7-game winning streak on the line. They've got to step up in the second half. A lot of work to do in this game. Terry Bonavana back with you here as we look at some of the stats from the first half. Saints shot just 28% from the field. Lewis started similarly poorly, but they went 6 of 10 in the second half, raising their percentage to 39%. In the second quarter, rather, they shot 6 for 10, raising their percentage to 39 for the half. They also out-rebounded the Saints 24-14, which is alarming. When you look at the rebounding disparity that the Saints have had in their last 2 games, they have out-rebounded their opponents in their last 2 games 95-47, averaging 20.5 offensive rebounds per game their last 2. Today they've got just 1. Leading scorer for the Saints, Caitlin Aylward, Kamari Jordan, each have 5. For Lewis, the former Saint, Christina Ekomu has got 10 points off the bench. Rachel Hinders, 8 points, 9 rebounds for Lewis. As for St. Francis, Kamari Jordan leads the team in points, rebounds, and assists, 5, 3, and 2. Jordan coming off of an 11-point, 10-rebound double-double in her last game. We're ready to get going here in the third period. Lewis basketball as they've switched sides, going right to left for the second half. And we are underway. Starters on the floor for both sides. Here's Kelleher off to the left side and Lockett. Lockett looking low for Hinders, couldn't get her. Back outside, it's Gabby Green. Left side Lockett, lob down low for Kelleher, stripped from behind, and a held ball is called. Possession arrow faces St. Francis. On a held ball, good stop defensively. How about Kelleher? Just 6 points so far in today's game. Another of the key first half stats. Jessica Kelleher came in averaging 26 per game. Her season low is 14. Only twice this year she's been held to under 20. And she's at just 6 through the first half. Here's Markovic, nice drive, and she finishes. Getting to the basket in the first half was not the problem necessarily for St. Francis. It was finishing those drives. And they're able to do it, their first chance here in the second half. Here's Kelleher, immediately double team. Kelleher shovels it off to Hinders. Hinders throws it at the basket and in. 10 points for Hinders, who's just 1 rebound away from a double-double, and there's a steal from Lockett, who can't, or rather Green, who cannot finish. Here's Kamari Jordan taking it the other way. The turnover does not haunt St. Francis. Paige Gieske had a tough first half, trying to turn it around here in the second, but she's blocked by Kelleher. Hinders knocks the rebound out of bounds. Look at some uncharacteristic stats. I mentioned Kelleher. St. Francis' side, Caitlin Aylward, leading scorer, entered play today shooting 42% from the field, just 2 of 9 in the first half. And Paige Gieske, who's been a big contributor for the Fighting Saints, 5 turnovers in 10 minutes of play. A couple of things the Saints need cleaned up, and turnovers not cleaned up right there as Kamari Jordan threw it away looking for Gieske. Their miscommunication. And the Saints give it up to the Flyers. Something to keep an eye on, foul trouble. 5 Fighting Saints currently have 2 of them. Ekomu inside Kelleher, she's fouled by Jordan. And now 4 St. Francis players have 2 fouls and 1 has 3. That's Kamari Jordan's 3rd foul. Everyone who appeared in the first half for the Fighting Saints, excluding Leah Sims, who only played 4 minutes, picked up at least 1 foul as Kelleher misses on the first free throw. Free throw shooting, one of the few parts of Kelleher's game that has not been terrific this year. She hits the second. Or rather, today it's not been terrific. It's been good on the season, shooting close to 80%. Caitlin Aylward down into the corner for Gieske. Kamari Jordan, by the way, staying in the game with those 3 fouls. At least for the moment, Leah Sims is at the scorer's table. Markovic dribbles to the left, picks it up and hands it off to Aylward. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Markovic finds Jordan. Jordan fires the 3 off the mark. Offensive rebound, Nicole Davidson back up. No. Rebounded by Gabby Green. Well, the offensive rebound was big. They weren't able to get the second chance points, though. I mentioned at halftime, offensive rebounds a huge factor in the first half, and the Saints falling behind by 13 points. Having Nicole Davidson back out there should help. Davidson missed most of the first half with those 2 fouls. Ekomu off to the right side. Open 3, Lockett. Nope. Rebounded by Davidson. 7.5 minutes to go, third quarter. Saints trailed by 13 at the half, down by 14 now. Davidson. Drives, Davidson, floats it towards the hoop, may have been blocked, no good. Rebounded though by Aylward. Aylward puts it back up, no. And a loose ball foul called on Caitlin Aylward. So after getting just 1 offensive rebound in the first half, the Saints have 2 on their last 2 possessions, but they have not been able to turn those into any second chance points. Second foul on Aylward. So now there are 6 Saints with at least 2 fouls as Leah Sims comes in for the one who's got 3, and that's Kamari Jordan. Gabby Green to Kelleher. Kelleher finds Hinders down low, and Hinders has another 2. 12 points for Hinders. 16-point deficit for St. Francis, their biggest of the evening. Leah Sims finds Aylward at the left elbow. Aylward spins and kicks it outside. Gieske for 3, perfect. Paige Gieske is on the board. She's got 5 points now. Second field goal of the night. Drive from Green, stripped and the ball loose, picked up by Leah Sims. Sims ahead for Markovic. Saints are running a little bit, and now with no rebounders, they slow it down a little bit. Aylward drives out to Gieske again. Gieske misses this time. Offensive rebound. Aylward back up and in. Quick 5-0 spurt for St. Francis. Brings them back in this thing, down by 11. And an offensive foul called on Rachel Hinders. She ran over Nicole Davidson. First foul of the half on Lewis. The Saints finally seizing a little momentum here. They can cut the deficit to single digits on this possession. Here's Paige Gieske, guarded by Gabby Green. Gieske drives all the way in on her own. She's fouled. Gieske playing a little bit more under control here in the second half, and she'll try to add a couple more points from the line after hitting a 3 just a moment ago. That's the second foul on Gabby Green, and the team's second. First free throw good. 10-point game. 5:52 remaining in the third quarter. Green checks out. Olmstead is back in for the Flyers. Gieske hits them both. 9-point game. Lewis basketball. Saints on a 7-0 run. This is Lockett. Passing into the corner to Olmstead and getting it right back. Saints in a zone defense here as Lockett drives, throws it off the foot of Aylward, and it's out of bounds. Hit off of Hinders as well, I think. So it's St. Francis basketball. Now the officials will discuss it. And it is Lewis basketball. I thought it went off of Aylward. I'm not at the best angle, so I didn't question the original call, but I'm not going to question this either. Lewis ball inbounded up top to Kelleher. Right side Olmstead down to the corner Lockett. She steps inside the arc, fires a 2, no good. Markovic battling for the rebound, knocked out of her hands by Kelleher, but out of bounds. Last touched by Jessica Kelleher. Saints have scored 7 straight points, and they've got the ball back now against the press. Aylward lobbed ahead for Gieske. Layup, no. Gieske misses the open layup. That would have been big. Lewis going the other way. It's Riley Olmstead giving it up to Ekomu. Ekomu slows it down. Kelleher down low for Hinders, off her fingertips and out of bounds. Another turnover. 5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Saints on a 7-0 run with the ball. They've missed on their last 2 possessions, but Lewis has not been able to take advantage. Here's Leah Sims giving it up to Aylward. Aylward pull up from the free throw line, no good. And long rebound goes to Hinders. Komu on the drive, blocked by Aylward, pulled in by Nicole Davidson. Defense is reigning in this game once again. It has really been a sloppy basketball game by a lot of measures, but primarily because both defenses have been really good. Leah Sims drives, bounces back outside to Aylward. Over to Davidson, 5 to shoot. Davidson floats it in. Nicole Davidson brings the Saints back to within 7 with her first 2 points of the night. This is as close as St. Francis has been in a long time. Trailed by 13 at the half. They're on a 9-0 run, erasing what had been a 16-point deficit. Kelleher tipped by Davidson and stolen. Ahead to Gieske, 2-on-1. Markovic bounces back to Davidson, lays it up and in. Timeout called by St. Francis, or rather by Lewis. St. Francis has scored 11 straight points, and they are within 5. What a run here for the Fighting Saints, and all of it since Kamari Jordan has checked out. Leah Sims came in for her. Sims hasn't scored any points, but she's been a good presence on defense and controlling the ball on the offensive side, but really it's been Paige Gieske and Nicole Davidson to spark the run. They've got all 11 points during the current 11-0 run. Davidson now with 4 in the game and Gieske 9. And the Saints are as close as they've been since the score was 18-13. Still only shooting 32% from the field, but Lewis has now turned the ball over 13 times. And turnovers are big to spark a run for any team. St. Francis still struggling overall with their shot, even during the big run, but Lewis just can't get anything going right now. They nearly turned it over right there out of the timeout as Akomu almost threw it away to Kayla Brewer. 16 seconds on the shot clock. It's Akomu into the corner, Olmstead down low. Kelleher double team, she throws it away again. 14th turnover of the game for Lewis. Markovic will slow things down. The Saints can cut the deficit to 1 possession here with just over 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. Leah Sims into the corner. Markovic thought about the shot, passed up on it. Here's Aylward, guarded by Kelleher. Aylward drives. Aylward throws it to the hoop, no, and Kelleher comes down with the rebound. Wild shot there from Caitlin Aylward. Here's Chrissy Akomu off to Kelleher. Step in jumper from 13 feet is good. Kelleher finally back on the board, her first points of the half, or her first field goal of the half, I should say. She's got 9 points in the game, and that halts the 11-0 St. Francis run. Here's Davidson. Around a screen from Aylward. Nicole Davidson pulls up at the foul line and passes off to Ivana Markovic. 10 on the shot clock. Markovic, guarded by Akomu, poked away. Aylward picks it up. Now Aylward drives, she's stripped and taken away by Olmstead. Here comes Riley Olmstead taking it to Leah Sims. Layup is good. So Lewis a quick 4 points, and suddenly the lead back up to 9. Leah Sims drives to the left side, bounces on the baseline to Gieske. Back out Sims, 3-point attempt, no good. Rebounded by Aylward. Saints will reset. They've struggled in the half-court game tonight. Their big run came by forcing a lot of turnovers and getting a few transition points, but now trying to score from the half-court set once again. Sims pass deflected, Kelleher takes it away. It's 2-on-3, Kelleher pulls it up and passes to Akomu. Just about a minute and a half to play in the third. Kelleher going up over Aylward and scoring. Jessica Kelleher in double figures now. Lewis has scored 6 straight points, and they've reclaimed a double-digit lead as Steve Brooks calls a timeout from his bench. Full timeout called by Steve Brooks and St. Francis. 1:29 to go in the quarter. St. Francis got back in this one with 11-0 run. They have forced 6 turnovers here in the third quarter, and that's been huge for them. But they still are not shooting well. Just 5 of 15 from the field in the third quarter, shooting 30% for the game. 3 of 10 from beyond the arc. One thing they have straightened out a lot has been the rebounds. They were out-rebounded 24-14 in the first half, including 6-1 on the offensive side. This is a team that averaged over 20 offensive rebounds per game the last two. Here in the second half, they've out-rebounded Lewis 9-5, including 5 offensive boards to none. And that has certainly helped them stay in the game, but it hasn't provided as much of a spark as they'd like, simply because despite the offensive rebounds, they're not scoring on their second chances. Saints will come out of the timeout with Ivana Markovic, Paige Gieske, Caitlin Aylward, Leah Sims, and Adriana Acosta making her first appearance in a while. Acosta played only 7 minutes in the first half because she had 2 fouls on her, but this is a 9-point, 6.5 rebound per game player. You really need her on the floor. Saints came into tonight ranked number 7 in the country, winners of 7 consecutive games. They're in trouble here this evening. Paige Gieske dribbles off to the right side, bounces low to Aylward, back out to Gieske. Gieske drives, lays it up, no, and an offensive foul called on Gieske. And that's her second. Late in the third quarter, you're not quite as worried about a player picking up her second foul, but pretty much everybody on the team now has at least 2. 7 players have at least 2 fouls. Jordan's got 3. That is, though, only the third of the quarter. Here's Gabby Green. Down into the corner, back up to Green. Right side, Olmstead. 15 on the shot clock, under a minute to play in the quarter. Kayla Brewer tries for 3. No good. Rebound to Markovic. Brewer nearly ripped it away. Markovic held on. We've seen only 5 made 3-pointers in this game. Not a lot of attempts. St. Francis is 3 for 10. Lewis 2 for 5. There's a steal for Olmstead, but she stepped on the sideline. So in the end, no harm, no foul, but it will go as a turnover for both teams because Olmstead, I think, had taken control prior to the stepping on the line. So the shot clock does reset to 30. Markovic into Sims. About 10 seconds differentiate the shot and game clocks. Here's Aylward. To Gieske, bounced back down low to Aylward. Aylward triple team, throws it away to Gieske as she was falling to the ground. 7 seconds on the clock. Aylward drives. Aylward blocked and fouled. Caitlin Aylward struggling with her shot to some extent compared to what she did last year when she shot well over 50%. This year at only 42, but she had been heating up. The last couple of games have been great. In fact, a week ago tomorrow, she misses the first free throw, now 1 of 3 from the night, or on the night from the line, I should say. 6 days ago, she had 29 points, 16 rebounds, both career highs in a win over Trinity Christian. She makes the second free throw. She was named CCAC Player of the Week, shot well in both wins. Tonight, just 3 of 13 thrown away, but chased down by Gabby Green. 5 seconds on the clock. Green splits the double team, tripped up. Leah Sims picks up the loose ball. Ahead to Markovic, who fires it at the buzzer. It would have counted, but it banks off the front iron and does not go down. Saints are alive. They are down by 13 at the half. They played a strong quarter, highlighted by an 11-0 run that cut the deficit at one point to just 5. With 10 minutes to go in the game, the deficit is 10. 42-32. Lewis. I'll take a quick break. Back with the fourth quarter in just a minute. At the start of the fourth quarter, our score, Lewis 42, St. Francis 32. Lewis is scoring 74 points per game. 73.6 to be exact. St. Francis, 70 points per game. So this is uncharacteristic for both teams. And Lewis is allowing 68 points per game, St. Francis 64. So it's not as though both teams have had dominant defenses this year. They've been good defensively, but I don't think anybody was expecting this type of game today, 42-32 at the end of 3 periods. Lewis basketball as we start the fourth. It's Gabby Green walking it off to Riley Olmstead. Green gets it back over to Kelleher. Jessica Kelleher, slow start. Got going a little bit late in the third quarter. And she gets going early in the fourth quarter. She keeps going, perhaps I should say, as she knocks down the long-range 2-point jumper. Kelleher's now got 13 points in the game. So after that slow start, she is now Lewis's leading scorer. Andriana Acosta off to Caitlin Aylward. Aylward drives to the right side, dishes to Acosta. Back out to Leah Sims. Kamari Jordan back in the game, playing with 3 fouls. She missed the majority of the third quarter. Gieske drives, lays it up, and misses. A little bit too strong off the glass. Here's Brewer passing to Green. Down in the corner to Olmstead. Lewis by 12. Starting to pull away again. 3-point attempt for Olmstead. Off the mark. And an over-the-back foul is called on number 3, Kayla Brewer of Lewis. I believe that's her third. Make that her second. It's the team's first. Markovic is in for Leah Sims after a very short rest. St. Francis went on an 11-0 run. Cut a 16-point deficit down to 5. Since then, Lewis has outscored the Saints 8-1. Gieske to Jordan, off her hands, but she hauls it in. Markovic, 13 to shoot. It's Aylward around the screen. Caitlin Aylward drives, layup, yes, and one. Big drive, Caitlin Aylward. Foul is called on the Lewis center, Morgan Glachek. It's her first, second on the team, and Aylward back to the free throw line. She's 2 of 4 so far tonight. 3-point play for the sophomore out of Trinity High School, Caitlin Aylward, and the Saints are back within 9. Here's Green. Bouncing it down into the corner for Brewer and getting it back. Cross court, Akomu. Akomu's got a season-high 10 points off the bench tonight, playing in her old home. 3-pointer, Brewer. It's good. Saints have been leaving some open shots with that zone defense, and Lewis has not made them pay for it. But they do right there as they hit their third 3-pointer of the game. Kamari Jordan spins into the paint, passes it out to Gieske. Now Aylward for 3, no good. Rebounded by Hinders. Kelleher down low, Hinders up over Acosta, no good. And Andriana Acosta secures the rebound. Just about 7.5 minutes to play in the game. This is Ivana Markovic. She dribbles it off her foot and is able to bring it back in. Nearly stolen by Kayla Brewer. Kamari Jordan is called for the offensive foul as she wrapped her arm around Gabby Green on a cut. Man, that's the 4th foul on Jordan. Check that. It's called on Acosta. So Andriana Acosta called for her 3rd rather than Kamari Jordan picking up her 4th. That's big. And Acosta sits down. Nicole Davidson's back in. Hinders down into the corner. This is Brewer. Back up top, Kelleher. Christina Akomu for 3. Off the side of the backboard, and a wild rebound goes out to Hinders. Shot clock does not reset. Brewer for 3, hit it. Kayla Brewer is getting hot from the outside. She's hit 2 in a row. And that one a killer. After an ugly shot from Chrissy Akomu, Lewis gets a lucky bounce on the rebound. Ends up getting another shot at it. They lead by 15. Here's Jordan on the drive. Jordan layup, yes, and a foul. Third foul called on Akomu. And Jordan to the free throw line. Kamari's got 7 points for the game. She misses the foul shot. Crucial miss. St. Francis has not been good from the line tonight. Just 6 of 10. This is Gabby Green. Off to Chrissy Akomu. Guarded by Paige Gieske. Up top, Hinders. Jordan jumped in the passing lane, nearly took it away from Brewer. And now Caitlin Aylward does smack it away from Brewer, but out of bounds. 5 on the shot clock. Still Lewis basketball, and Riley Olmsted comes back in for Akomu. "13-point lead for Lewis, 6:15 to go in the game. Here's Kelleher, stripped by Caitlin Aylward and taken away by Kamari Jordan. Jordan drives, Jordan lays it up and misses. Big miss. Saints have had a few too many of those tonight. It's a drive and a missed shot on the other end for Kayla Brewer. Ivana Markovic comes away with it. Paige Gieske off to Ivana Markovic. They'll slow the pace a little bit. Davidson to Aylward, 13 on the shot clock. Down low, Davidson up and in. Nicole Davidson off the assist from Caitlin Aylward. Saints are hanging around. They won't go down quietly. Down 50-39. Full timeout called by Sam Quigley. 5:25 to go in the game, and the Saints trying to prove they've got at least one more big run in them to try to erase this deficit. Last time these two teams met up, just about 1 year ago, it was on December 7th last season at Lewis. These two teams play each other each and every year. Saints in NAIA Division II and Flyers in NCAA Division II, but their schools located just about a 10-minute drive apart from one another. St. Francis here in Joliet and Lewis over in Romeoville. So they match up every season, and despite the difference in division, they play some competitive games. Lewis does lead the all-time series 39-9, but St. Francis won last year, convincingly, at least if the score is any indication, 80-69. A much different type of game, obviously, than this one has been. That game, though, was actually a lot closer than that. Lewis held the lead going into the fourth quarter, and St. Francis pulled away late. Lewis has led this one pretty much from start to finish. Saints have not had an advantage at any point. Closest they've come was when it was tied at 4. Lewis scored the next basket, and they've been ahead ever since. Largest lead has been 16. It's 11 right now. Olmsted to Green. Gabby Green up top, walks it to the left side, gives it up to Kayla Brewer. Green back over to Brewer. Brewer drives and kicks to the free throw line. Hinders, misses on the jumper. Offensive rebound, Brewer, but she throws it away. Intercepted by Gieske. Gieske a little bit out of control. She's able to pull up and find her teammate Caitlin Aylward. Here's Kamari Jordan. Jordan walks it to the left side. Already half the possession gone. Shot clock down to 11 seconds as it's poked away from Davidson into the backcourt, and Davidson said it was touched. The official said it was not. So over and back called. And it's Lewis basketball off the turnover. Tierney Lockett, junior out of Rich South High School, is back in. Tossed in for Kelleher and lost out of bounds. And now Lewis thinks that Markovic touched that one. So both teams have a beef with the official. And neither team gets their way, and it all evens out in the end, I suppose. St. Francis basketball. Gieske whips it up top to Kamari Jordan. Jordan drives to the left side, bounces down low to Davidson, reverse layup misses. And a travel is called as Kelleher and Gabby Green got tied up with one another. A lack of communication leads to Kelleher in possession of the ball, taking a step. Bad turnover there for the Flyers. St. Francis ball again. Neither team has gotten a shot off in a while. Check that. Davidson did miss the shot on the last possession, but there's also been a surplus of turnovers. Aylward spins and dishes out to Gieske. 3-ball, no. Rebounded by Olmstead. Gabby Green holds it. Passes off to Hinders. 4 minutes to go in the game. St. Francis has got to make their run soon. Green drives on Markovic. Blocked by Davidson, but a foul is called. Looked like a good block up top from Nicole Davidson, but a foul on the body. And Gabby Green goes to the line for 2 shots. And a timeout is called by St. Francis. Not a lot of action since the last timeout. A minute and a half has gone by in the game, and neither team has scored. We've now seen a combined total of 32 turnovers in the game. Neither team has shot particularly well, especially St. Francis, still at just 31%. It's been a game in which points have been tough to come by. St. Francis hanging around, hoping for some Lewis trouble at the foul line. At the foul line. Samantha Quigley-Smith, who beat Lewis a year ago as the head coach of the Fighting Saints, trying to get a victory in her return to the Sullivan Center for the first time as coach of the Lewis Flyers. It's a homecoming not just for her, she coached here 5 years, but Christina Ekomu, who played here for 3 years, was the starting point guard on the team that went to the national semifinal a year ago. And she's played well with 10 points this evening. But all of Samantha Quigley's coaching staff comes from St. Francis as well. She brings Dan McCarthy and Mike Delrose over from their time at St. Francis. And Charnel Reed is also on the staff as a first-year assistant. Charnel, of course, was the star player on the Saints last year. She graduated and accompanied her old coach to Lewis to become an assistant. So the entirety of the St. Francis coaching staff was, or the Lewis coaching staff rather, was with St. Francis in one form or another last year. Lewis leads by 12 on Gabby Green's first free throw. Green's got 3 points this evening. She misses the second foul shot, and it's rebounded by Nicole Davidson. Here's Markovic. Passed off to the right side, Jordan for 3. Yes, Kamari Jordan hits a big 3. Saints needed that one from their senior. Jordan is in double figures with 10 points. 3.5 minutes to go in the game. Big 3-pointer, and now the Saints need a stop. Green. Drives with the left hand, dishes down low to Kelleher. Kelleher goes up and misses. She gets her own rebound and draws the foul. So Jessica Kelleher has 2 free throws. That's Nicole Davidson's 4th foul. It's the team's 3rd. Kelleher hits on the first free throw. St. Francis was called for 13 fouls in the first half. It's been much better in the second. They haven't had to worry too much about players in foul trouble. Second free throw misses, but I think a Saint was in the lane. Lane violation. And so Kelleher gets another chance. I believe it was Paige Gieske who stepped in. And Kelleher makes St. Francis pay for their mistake. So it is again an 11-point lead for the Flyers. Gieske has it stripped, gets it back. In some trouble, she gets it away to Davidson. Davidson lobs it to the cutting Gieske. And Gieske gets it right back to Davidson, who misses on the runner. Rebounded by Kelleher. And a foul is called on Caitlin Aylward in the backcourt. That's the 4th foul on St. Francis. Next one will send the Flyers to the line. That's Aylward's 3rd foul. Inbounded to Green. Gabby Green holds it on the left side, or on a screen to the right, poked away by Aylward, but she's called for her 4th foul. 2nd foul on Aylward on this possession, and now Lewis will get free throws. .238 to go in the game, and getting very late now for St. Francis, who may not have the offensive firepower, at least in this game. They need to make the comeback. They just, at no point, have been able to get the shots going. Shooting just 32% for the night. 20th and 21st free throw attempts of the game coming up for Lewis, and the first one is good for Green. St. Francis has been able to take only 10 free throws. She makes them both. It's a 13-point lead for the Flyers. Here's Ivana Markovic. Markovic drives into a sea of black shirts. She's fouled. I think that one's going to go on Riley Olmstead. And not a shooting foul. Markovic apparently was hit on the floor, so it'll be an inbounds play from the baseline. The next foul will send St. Francis to the line, as that was the 4th of the quarter. Gieske looking for somebody, in some trouble, finally finds Kamari Jordan. Jordan drives and dishes out to Markovic. Markovic will try the 3, no good. Thought she had an open look when she caught the ball, but she took a dribble and threw her out of rhythm a little bit. Kelleher down low to Lockett and back out to Olmstead. Olmstead drives and kicks to Lockett. Poked away by Jordan, but Lockett pulls it back in. Under 10 to shoot. Lockett drives with the left hand down the lane, floats it towards the basket. No off the backboard, but an offensive rebound for Hinders. Big game on the boards tonight for Rachel Hinders. She's got 14 to go along with 12 points. And now Sam Quigley telling Flyers to slow it down. They've got a big lead in the final 2 minutes. No sense in taking quick shots here. Green stripped by Jordan, gets it back. This is Olmstead along the baseline. Bounce low for Kelleher. Kelleher going up on Aylward and drawing the foul. And that's the 5th on Caitlin Aylward. So Steve Brooks will have to call on a reserve as Aylward checks out. Let's see who gets sent in. Adriana Acosta hops up off the bench. 1:29 to go in the game. Aylward fouls out. 3 of her 5 fouls occurred in the final 3 minutes of the contest. And Jessica Keller, who has recovered from a very slow start to score 15 points, is at the line. She makes the first. Still well below her season average of 26 points per game, but turned into a nice night for Keller. 16 points, 11 rebounds, and an assist. She hits 1 of 2. Kelleher averaged 17 points per game as a freshman, 19 and some change last year. She's gotten better every year. It's been impressive. The Saints have been able to handle her to some extent as Jordan tries a 3 with a hand in her face. She misses it short, and a loose ball foul is called on St. Francis. I believe that'll go on Acosta, and that's her 4th. And it sends everybody trudging back to the other side of the floor as Rachel Hinders will get a pair of free throws. St. Francis' 7-game winning streak in serious jeopardy here, as it looks like Lewis is going to avenge last year's loss with a 14-point lead here in the final 73 seconds. Timeout is called. For the Saints, you never want to lose a game, but a non-conference game against an NCAA squad, they knew it was going to be tough coming in. And it's a loss they're going to have to shake off, assuming they're not able to pull off the miracle comeback over the last minute 13, because they get back to conference season pretty quickly. On Saturday, they're back at it against Olivet Nazarene, and that should be an entertaining one. It always is when Olivet's involved. Usually crazy offensive games, and Olivet off to a strong start this season as well. They, along with St. Francis and St. Xavier, undefeated in conference. So both teams go into that one on Saturday at 5-0 in the CCAC. Olivet and St. Francis, both top 25 teams. Hinders makes the first free throw. It is at Olivet Nazarene and Bourbonnais, and they'll be back here on Valentine's Day for the return date. Kamari Jordan, cross half court. Jordan dishes it off to Davidson. Under a minute to go now as Jordan spins around a defender and draws the foul. It'll be called on Glatchik. Saints have certainly given Lewis a fight today. Kelleher is out of the game. She appears to be done for the day with a hefty lead in the final minute, but this tough defensive battle, it's been a physically taxing game for sure. Lewis does not have much time off. They've got another game on Thursday night. I guess you could call it a Pyrrhic victory in some ways for St. Francis if Lewis maybe goes down on Thursday. Saints will know that they contributed to that game by working out the Flyers pretty hard tonight, but comeback effort from St. Francis is going to be not quite enough, it seems. Lobbed in, Glatchik checks in the loose ball. Here's Gabby Green. Off of the corner, Glatchik. Down low to Hinders, and Hinders draws the foul. And it has turned into quite a night for Rachel Hinders. Back to the free throw line looking for 2 more points. 13 points, 15 rebounds today. Hinders, the 5'11 sophomore from Johnston, Iowa. Ivana Markovic is helped off the floor. A little bit shaken up there. She'll be replaced by Maddie Kennedy. Not seen much of Kennedy since she picked up 2 fouls in the first half. Played in 6 minutes in the first half, and we haven't seen her in the second half until now. .46 seconds to go. Well, that was Nicole Davidson's 5th foul, by the way, so she is fouled out now, and Leah Sims will check in for her. So it's Jordan, Acosta, Kennedy, Gieske, and Sims on the floor for the final 45 seconds for St. Francis. First free throw attempt is good from Hinders. Lewis has led by as many as 16 in the game. They've got a 15-point lead now. St. Francis went on an 11-0 run to cut that 16-point deficit to 5, but then the well dried up. They just couldn't hit their shots down the stretch when it counted. Kamari Jordan loses the ball. She dives on top of it, and a timeout called from the sideline. 35 seconds left. St. Francis trailing by 15. Saints have shot just 31% from the field tonight. This is a team entered play today with a 43% mark from the field on the season, including a very impressive 37% from three-point range today. They're only 4 of 15 on three-pointers, and give a lot of credit to Lewis's defense. They've really been up to the task. St. Francis had a lot of trouble, especially early in the game, eating up a lot of time on offense. It seemed like every possession the shot clock was down under 10 because Lewis just wasn't giving them any clean looks. Saints had some problems as well, though. They've missed on some open shots here in the second half, and it's cost them. Gieske out to Kennedy. Maddie Kennedy in the paint. Scoops it up, no good. Gieske tries to follow, and she taps the rebound back to Kennedy. Kennedy throws it to the hoop again, and this time gets it to fall. So Maddie Kennedy is on the scoreboard. And the shot clock is off, so Lewis can just dribble it out. Saints will keep the pressure on defensively. 13 seconds to go. Akomu around to the left side. Green gets it from Katie Gardner. Back to Akomu with 4 seconds. Saints will back off, and the buzzer will sound. That's a final. Lewis comes to Joliet and takes care of St. Francis by a final score of 59-46. Saints, as I've been talking about these last few minutes, just not enough on offense today. A team averaging 70 points per game held to a season low 46. In fact, prior to tonight, their season low had been 59. So it's a season low by a significant margin this evening. And Lewis is a team that scores a lot of points as well. They entered today's game averaging 74, nearly 74 per contest. So for them to finish with 59 today, St. Francis played a good defensive game. Just couldn't get it done consistently on the offensive side. Let's take a look at some of the final totals from today's match. St. Francis shot just 31.5% from the field, 17 for 54. Lewis was at 38%. 18 for 47. Lewis a little bit better on three-pointers at 44%, Saints at 27, and Lewis a huge advantage on the free throw line. They didn't shoot a terribly high percentage, 19 of 27, 70%. It was good, but they more than doubled up the number of attempts. St. Francis 8 of 12 in the contest, so 11-point difference on the free throw line in a 13-point final, clearly one of the key factors in the game. St. Francis turned the ball over 14 times, Lewis 18, but they cleaned it up quite a bit in the fourth quarter. As far as individual performances, Kamari Jordan led the Saints with 12 points. She also had 6 rebounds and a pair of assists tonight. Caitlin Aylward had 11 points and 5 rebounds, but a tough night for her, the reigning CCAC Player of the Week, just 4 of 15 from the field. For Lewis, a pair of double-doubles. Jessica Kelleher, 16 points, 11 rebounds. Rachel Hinders finished with 15 and 15. And Chrissy Akomu, in her return to St. Francis, scored a season-high 10 points, all of them in the first half. St. Francis falls to 7-3 on the season as their 7-game winning streak comes to a close. Lewis improves to 6-3. Saints return to conference play. Their next 2 games are against CCAC foes, and that starts on Saturday at Olivet Nazarene, a 1 o'clock start time on Saturday afternoon. And they go to St. Ambrose and then non-conference for 3 in a row, including 2 here at home, but their next home game is not for another 3 weeks, December 30th. That evening at 7 o'clock, they will have a non-conference game against Indiana East. That's the next time they play at home. A light schedule here in December with the holidays right around the corner. Again, the final score today, Lewis 59, St. Francis 46. That's going to do it for our broadcast this evening. Saints end their 7-game winning streak. They'll try to start it back up on Saturday afternoon at Olivet Nazarene. Next broadcast from the Sullivan Center, not until December 30th against Indiana East. Until then, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off for the Fighting Saints here at the University of St. Francis. Good night, all.